Good morning, dear hearts. We have a great lesson today with lots of different previous lessons intertwined into it. So let's see where this goes, and please subscribe. Today's lesson is Let Me Perceive Forgiveness as It Is. This is certainly not the first time we have had a lesson about forgiveness. We've had many, and many will be mentioned today. Let us review the meaning of forgive. It's in air quotes, and think about it. Forgive. It is to be given. It is for giving. For it is apt to be distorted and be perceived as something that entails an unfair sacrifice of righteous wrath, a gift unjustified and undeserved, and a complete denial of the truth. In such a view, forgiveness must be seen as mere eccentric folly, and this course appears to be rest salvation on a whim. And yes, we have had these ideas already about the idea of forgiveness and how it is undeserved in this world, how we see it that way. The twisted view of what forgiveness means is easily corrected when you can accept the fact that pardon is not asked for what is true. It must be limited to what is false. It is irrelevant to anything except illusions. Now, what I've said many times, other teachers have as well, forgiveness is an illusion. It really is. Because it is not required, it does not rest in heaven. Forgiveness is the key that we use to, because it stands between, and this is a line from today's lesson, forgiveness stands between illusions and the truth. And it is the way to let the illusions go and lead us to the truth. It is like a bridge we go across. We think in this world that our forgiveness, and we have talked about the unforgiving mind, and even though we know forgiveness is the key to happiness, that we are going to be forgiving something that really happened. So this is why it says that forgiveness is only for the illusion. We're not forgiving what is true. Truth is God's creation, and to pardon that would be meaningless. Truth is true, nothing else is true. Truth is never going to be what deceives us. Only the illusion deceives us. How can you forgive the sinless and eternally benign? That is what we really are. We are really innocent. We are forgiving illusions that we think are real. The major difficulty that you find in genuine forgiveness on your part is that you still believe you must forgive the truth and not illusions. You conceive of pardon as a vain attempt to look past what is there, what you think really happened, and overlook the truth because we think it really happened, is an unfounded effort to deceive yourself by making an illusion true. This twisted viewpoint but reflects and hold the idea that sin retains as yet upon your mind as you regard yourself. Lesson 93 was light and joy and peace abide in me. But remember in that lesson in the very beginning, it said that we see ourselves as that snake, that venomous creature, and that we thought if anyone else would see us that way, they would recoil, but it even makes us want to do ourselves in because we see ourselves as so sinful, and so egregious. So that is, again, we need to shift how we see ourselves. Pardon is no escape in such a view. It merely is a further sign that sin is unforgivable. Guilt cannot be forgiven. If you sin, your guilt is everlasting. Those who are forgiven from the view that their sins are real are pitifully mocked and twice condemned. I want to focus on this because I don't think I have in the other years. First by themselves for what they think they did, and once again by those who pardon them, because if I really think that I committed a sin and now you are pardoning me, that is really only reinforcing the idea that I really did that I really am guilty. So that is why it is twice mocked. And this idea is in the Course and other times as well, is that, those who see themselves as a body, and then those of us who agree and we see our brother as a body, rather than seeing them as the true light that they really are. It's sin's unreality that makes forgiveness natural and wholly sane, a deep relief to those who suffer it, a quiet blessing where it is received. Sin doesn't countenance illusions. It doesn't hold on to them, but it collects them lightly and with a little laugh, and a little laugh because it knows they are not real, lays them at the feet of truth, and there they disappear entirely. The sin cannot uphold and be there when truth has come. When truth has come, all sins disappear. Forgiveness is the only thing that stands for truth in the illusions of this world. And it sees truth, forgiveness, it sees their nothingness and looks straight through 1,000 forms in which they may appear. It looks on lies, but is not deceived. It does not heed the self-accusing shrieks of sinners and with guilt. It looks on them with quiet eyes and merely says to them, "My brother, what you think is not the truth." That's what forgiveness says. This is not the truth, my brother. You are one with me, and you indeed are sinless, as am I. We are the innocent children of our Father. It goes on, the next paragraph goes on by the forgiveness's ability to overlook what is not there. It opens up the way to truth, which has been blocked by dreams of guilt. Now are you free to follow in the way your true forgiveness opens up to you. It's true forgiveness. It's real forgiveness. For if one brother has received this gift of you, the door is open to yourself. When I have truly forgiven you, I have opened up the way for me as well. We can go together as we are meant to through that door. Now, this next paragraph is totally brilliant. There's a simple way. There's a simple way to find the door to true forgiveness and perceive it open wide in welcome. When you feel that you are tempted to accuse someone of sin in any form, do not allow your mind to dwell on what you think he did, for that self-deception. Ask instead, would I accuse myself of doing this? Aha. Would I accuse myself of doing this? This is a great thing to remember when driving. When those people cut in front, we think, but they are in a space where they don't feel they have another choice. Have I ever done that? Did I ever run a red light, maybe on accident, hopefully on accident? And if they did, and if I see another driver do that, do I condemn them or go, oh yeah, I've done that too? That is the wonderful, wonderful tell to use. Would I accuse myself? And later on in the practice, would I condemn myself? Now, thus you see alternatives for choice in terms that render choosing meaningful. Choosing meaningful. We just did that yesterday for lesson 133. And we had the 4 questions that to help us make a decision, that I would not value what is valueless. And our criteria was that I want to choose something that will last, that isn't temporary. I choose something that is shared. Forgiveness certainly is shared, and forgiveness is not temporary. And I'm going to choose wisely. Forgiveness is always going to be a wise choice, and I'm going to choose something that can be shared, and I'm going to choose something that doesn't induce a guilty feeling. Forgiveness meets all of that criteria. So choosing meaningful, and keep your mind as free of guilt and pain as God himself intended it to be, and as it is in truth. It is but lies that would condemn. In truth is innocence, the only thing there is. Forgiveness stands between illusions and the truth. And across that bridge that we want to go, with our forgiveness. And it also told us that between the world you see and what lies beyond, between the hell of guilt and heaven's gate. And across that bridge, powerful love. We have been awakened from the dream by understanding what we thought we saw was never there. And we don't have to fight to save ourselves any longer. Paragraph 13 tells us forgiveness must be practiced. Yes, it does. Every single day. For the world cannot perceive its meaning or provide a guide to teach you its beneficence. There is no thought in all the world that leads to any understanding of the laws that forgiveness follows, nor the thought, with a capital T, which is God, that it reflects. It is alien to the world, as is your own reality, who we really are. We are in this world. We are not of this world. And yet, it joins your mind with the reality in you. Forgiveness holds and heals us together. Our practicing is twice a day, 15 minutes, as it was yesterday. And it tells us our practicing become the footsteps lighting up the way for all brothers who would follow us to the reality we share with them, that lighting the way, just as in lesson 124, let me remember I am one with God. And we talked about those footprints that point the way home. We also had it in paragraph 12 that our step is light as we forgive, and we lift our feet to stride ahead. A star is left behind us. It is that same idea of the light that we leave as we go forward so that others may follow it and find their way home as well. So this is accomplished, and we give a quarter of an hour twice today, and we want to spend it with the guide, the Holy Spirit, who understands the meaning of forgiveness and was sent to teach it to us. Let us ask of him, let me perceive forgiveness as it is. Now, we have the same practicing that we have had many times at this point. We first had it in lesson 46, which was God is the love in which I forgive, and we're picking one brother, one sister. Choose that person, and as the Holy Spirit will direct us to, and then catalog all of his sins, all of his transgressions, one by one as they cross your mind, and be certain not to dwell on any of them, but realize that you are using his offenses, but to save the world from all ideas of sin. Briefly consider all the evil things you thought of him or her, and each time ask yourself, would I condemn myself for doing this? Now let him and her be freed from all the thoughts you had of sin within them, and now you're prepared. We are now prepared for freedom. And if we're practicing like this, it's in willingness and honesty, we will begin to sense a lifting up, a lightening of weight across your chest. So forgiveness isn't only good for our mind, it is good for the body. It frees us up of all that we've been holding on to, all of the condemnations, all of the grievances that we have had, all of the accusations that we have made. We are lifted out of them. Forgiveness should be practiced throughout the day, for there will still be many times when you forget its meaning and attack yourself. We were told, as in 46, that as we attack only ourselves, we forgive only ourselves. And we have lines to use for during the day. Let me perceive forgiveness as it is. Would I accuse myself of doing this? I will not lay this chain upon myself, because we are loosening ourselves from all the chains. I loosen this world. I loosen these chains. And no one is crucified alone, and yet no one can enter heaven by himself. Hand in hand, those lighted footsteps, this is how we go. We go together. Forgiveness is the key to happiness, and all that I give is given to myself. And that's it for today. Tomorrow, I hope this helped. Tomorrow is, I do believe, the longest lesson in the workbook, If I defend myself, I am attacked. Come to the lesson with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, because you're going to need it, I think. So please like, please share, please subscribe, please comment, please smile for all of the awarenesses that we are having and how much more we understand forgiveness as it truly is and how beneficial it is for every mind. Namaste.